Don't you feel like these douchey influencers?
Yeah. I'm used to it. I'm not even an influencer. I just walk out in the street and people put cameras in front of me.
You know the vibes out on this side. Yeah.
Most people don't start a business to just stay busy. They start because they want freedom, flexibility, and fun. They want to live a life on their own terms. They want to be able to spend more time with the people who matter most in their life. But somewhere along the way, that freedom gets traded for complexity, for more commitment, for more noise and busy work. In this video, I'm having a conversation with high-performance coach Dr. Ben Carvosso. We uncover some of the surprisingly practical ideas about what it takes to build a business around your life rather than at the expense of it. Stick around and you'll get access to my 11 best time management strategies. It's a practical guide for creating more space, focus, and control in your day. Let's get started.
I had it in my
Oh,
sec-
is that?
yeah.
Is that
Was it
well, that's L's fluff.
good.
Running a business is hard. It affects not only your time and your finances, but your physical health, your mental health, your family, and your team. These are things many first-time entrepreneurs neglect, but doing so jeopardizes your longevity as an entrepreneur. In this chat with Ben, we hit on some of the important realizations that can help you create a great life, not just a great business.
21 days till Bali. Just makes me almost want to cry with just the joy of laying by that pool. Because this resort we go to, we've been to quite a lot. And mate, running every day, gym every day, laying by the pool every day.
None of the things you've said are things you can't do here.
Yeah. But, whew.
The first point from our chat is about getting brutally honest with your priorities. Not the ones you say out loud, but the ones that your calendar reveals. Different seasons of life demand different trade-offs. And when family needs you more, when health is already under pressure, trying to add more businesses, more goals, more complexity often pulls you further away from what matters. What if the fastest path forward is simplifying and focusing on fewer, better things?
So I was chatting with someone the other day and they were saying, you know, like this is the money-making aspect at the time of my life, and so I'm going to, you know, add this new business onto my existing business. And I went, okay. I said, what are your priorities? He goes, family, and then health, and then business and money. And okay. Have a think about that for just a minute. Like, I want you to really think, what are your priorities? And he goes, well, actually it's me. It's like a personal, you know, self, and then my family. I go, okay, that's good. It's probably, maybe that's better. That's, you know, more truthful. That's good. I said, so go through the priorities again. He goes, okay, yeah, me, you know, self, looking after myself, my wife, and then my kids. I went, great, okay. Given the situation in your life right now, next year, do you think your wife's going to need you more or less next year? Or more? Okay. So, doing this new business venture, do you think you're going to be able to be around more or less? He goes, well, you know, like, you got to make the money now, and then, you know, later on, you know, I want to be able to take my family away and, you know, do European vacations and stuff. Okay, I get it. Do you think, you know, your young children, do you think they give a f*** about European vacations, or do they just want their dad at home? And he goes, well, I guess they want their dad at home. I said, well, if you're going to be away all weekends and working late every night, how does that fit your model, right? I wonder if you could just simplify, get really good at the existing business you're working in, because it doesn't cost you more to grow that. It doesn't cost you more time or energy, you know, it's like, and forget that other business, so you're home on the weekends. So you're home every night at 6 o'clock, and that you're connected with your priorities. So he kind of got that, but I think there's a lot of people that have lost connection with what's really important, their mission, their vision, their purpose, what really matters, and they're trying to have all these other things. They're trying to do it all. That's the big thing I'm seeing. People are trying to do everything.
I heard Taki, we were talking about Taki earlier. He said something that really stuck with me. He goes, scaling happens with scissors. And the more I've cut products, the more I've cut services, the more I've focused on one or two or three things, the more I've made, and because you get better at the thing.
At some point, every business owner has to stop and ask an uncomfortable question. What actually matters right now? Not in theory, not in 5 years, but in this season of life. Because real priorities aren't what we say are important, they're what we protect with our time. If family needs you more, if your health is already asking for attention, then adding more businesses, more projects, more pressure comes at a huge, sometimes irrecoverable cost. And for a lot of people, the problem isn't a lack of drive, it's trying to do everything at once, chasing growth, chasing opportunity, chasing a future version of life, while quietly sacrificing the one that's happening right now. The truth is, scaling doesn't always come from adding more, it often comes from less. Scaling happens with scissors. When you simplify and focus on fewer, better things, you create space to show up where it actually counts. Success isn't about what you build, it's about whether the people who matter most to you get the best of you rather than just the scraps that are left over. The next takeaway from our chat has nothing to do with tactics or strategy. It's about why so many people feel stuck, even though they're working hard. Not because they chose the wrong path, but because they slowly drifted off the one they actually wanted. One detour at a time, one compromise after another, and it leads to a deeper question, not about business, but about ownership and agency.
Some people have got so far, they're so far down the creek and in the mangroves, and they've been in there for so long, and they're up to their gills in mud. I get it's hard to have any idea of what life might be like outside of that. Particularly if they're down there and they've got down there and they're blaming the rest of the world for why they're down there. Yeah. Oh, if only you knew my life, if only you knew what had happened to me, you don't understand. They did it to me. If they've got down there and they're constantly pointing out outside of themselves, it is hard. It's a real double-edged sword. Is if you're there and you're pointing outside of yourself that they're to blame, well, what you're also saying is I can't be the fix, because I'm here because of them. But if you're down there and you go, I'm here all because of me, that's good news too, because then you can also be the fix, right? But so many people have got down there and they're pointing outside of themselves, so I get that makes it super tricky. So not only we've got to get them connected with purpose, we've got to get them to put their hand up and go, oh, I'm down here because of me.
A lot of people don't end up stuck overnight, they drift. They follow a suboptimal path and then another, and before they realize it, they're a long way from where they're meant to be. So far down the creek, so deep in the weeds that it's hard to even imagine another way of living. And when that happens, blame becomes tempting. It's easier to point outward to circumstances, to other people, to the world. But the moment everything is someone else's fault, something else is lost too, the ability to change it. Because if where you're at is because of someone else, then the fix has to come from them also. But when you're willing to say, this is on me, not as a punishment, but as ownership, something shifts. Because if you played a role in getting there, you can play a role in getting out. Responsibility isn't blame, it's leverage. And the moment you take it back, you can stop being stuck and start being capable again. Next, we talk about purpose and how easy it is to drift away from it without realizing. Most people don't wake up one day lost. They follow a path, then a side path, then someone else's version of success, until one day they stop and think, how did I end up here? This part of the conversation explores why so many people feel disconnected, not because they lack ability or opportunity, but because they've stopped listening to their own direction. Sometimes the hardest step isn't finding your purpose, it's giving yourself permission to say it out loud. Click the link in the description and get 11 of my best time management strategies. It's a practical guide for creating more space, focus, and control in your day. This is something you can do today, immediately, to buy back time that you didn't even realize you were wasting.
I talk about it in my book, Life CEO, how to take charge, do your life's work, not your busy work. And it really starts with this idea that people are in this river, which is their river of purpose. And often they're right in it. They're in the river, cruising along, and then something catches their eye, and it's a little tributary that comes off the river. Oh, I wonder what's down there. And they go down there, and before they ended up, they're in a little creek, and then they're in the mangroves, and then they're stuck. And they go, what the f*** am I doing here? Nothing's working, and it's simply because they've just got out of the river. They've got out of their flow. That's a consistent thing. People disconnected from purpose, from vision, from mission. And it's often because something's caught their eye, which is someone else's vision and mission, It's their churches, it's their parents, it's their partners, it's social medias, it's the governments.
What about people who say that they don't know their purpose?
It's one of those questions that, you know, people like, I know they just want to punch me in the face when I ask it. And I ask, and if you did know though, what do you think it might be?
Okay.
And they go, well, you know, I suppose it's, you know, and they articulate it. No one's sometimes given them permission to actually speak their truth. It's like in practice, as a chiropractor, we take a thorough history with our patients, and I'll go, let's talk about accidents. When was your last motor vehicle accident? And they go, never. No, not had one. And they're like 50 years of age. Not had one. And I go, if you had one, when would that have been? And I promise you, Al, 98% of the time, I'm promising. Actually, there was one 20 years ago, a truck, you know, like, it's like, dude, you know, it's amazing when you actually go into their mind with a quality question. And I go, oh, and the accident before that one? They go, yeah, actually there was. There was one when I was like 18. You know, I just got my license and I ran, you know. So yet the moment before, he goes, no, not had any accidents. No, don't know what my purpose is. But when you go, if you did know what your purpose was, I wonder what it might be.
That's a good trick.
What comes up again and again in this conversation isn't that people don't have a purpose, it's that they've moved far away from it. They've stopped recognizing the signal and have been pulled by other people's expectations, other people's goals, and other people's version of success. Reconnecting to purpose doesn't always require a dramatic breakthrough. Sometimes it starts with a simple, honest question and the courage to listen to the answer.
You know, if you were to tell me the top two things, it's getting people connected with purpose and getting people to take responsibility for their life. Like 100% responsibility. You can't go on and go 99%, because that 1% it's like just that little catch that sometimes stops you from actually making the change.
Why don't they take responsibility?
Oh, because society says if you take responsibility, then you're to blame, you're at fault, and therefore you're faulty. That's totally different. Fault and responsibility aren't the same thing. Responsibility is really powerful. It's really honouring, and it's really strong, and it's courageous, and it's, you know, I think it's a really beautiful thing.
In the end, building a business isn't just about growth or success, it's about alignment between what you're building and the life you actually want to live. When your priorities are clear, your focus sharpens, your decisions simplify, and your business starts working for you, not against you. And that's where real progress begins. If this video resonated with you, click the video on the screen to watch the next one and keep learning.
Trophy, gotta take it out my face. Yeah. You ain't serious, then get about the way. This is really what I do, so it's more than just a game. Yeah. Top 10.